welcome everyone to the Evolve podcast. It's number 25, and I'm so excited to bring to you today my very, very special guests, Erin and Lauren, to the show. It's June where we're recording this today, so welcome, ladies.
Thank you for having us.
Hello.
Hello, you are most welcome. So, Erin, I was just blown away when I saw your post about raising awareness about what your daughter's going through, and I thought, how can I do that? And straight away, I think I messaged you and said, that's it. I'd love to have you on my podcast. Let's raise awareness. I didn't know about anything what you were going through, anything about what Lauren was going through. So I just love for you to share with us a little bit about your post and how we got to here today. And also invite you, Lauren, anytime you want to tell us a bit, jump in, feel free to do that too.
Sure. So Lauren, what do you have?
Myasthenia Gravis.
Yeah, so Lauren's got a rare neuromuscular autoimmune condition called Myasthenia Gravis. We nickname it MG for short. It means that her nerves, her antibodies are attacking her nerve neurojunctions of all her voluntary muscles. So yeah, Lauren has a little thing that she does. So it breaks down the communication. So Lauren was 2.5 years old when she was diagnosed, and the way we picked it up was she was watching television and her dad noticed a droopy eye that was coming and going. So we had to investigate to find out what it was. So how did we investigate, Lauren? What did we do? You had a MRI?
Oh yeah, and that's right.
MRI, and we went to the hospital. We went to a pediatrician straight away to find out what was going on. They thought it might have been a slow bleed to the brain because she had a concussion. Little monkey fell off the bed. Had a concussion 6 weeks earlier prior to it. So they thought there could have been some pressure causing the droop on her eye, which luckily MRI came back all clear, but unluckily it started to move to her other eye. So we started in one eye and then went to the other eye. And so whilst we were waiting for follow-up appointments, mind you, everyone was amazing. We got in straight away. Lauren, we went to a optometrist. And we were chatting to an optometrist at Clifton Beach. And I was just talking about how Lauren dances and lays down and how she is picky with what she eats and just generally chatting. And we were talking about the ptosis and how it's sort of going from one eye to another. And he actually said, I think it might be something that's called myasthenia gravis. And it was just a fluke from a conversation. He said, I hope and pray it's not. But what did we do? We went and had the blood test. And 2 weeks later, it was that. So it was positive. So she got the antibodies that said, you've got myasthenia, which meant that we didn't have to keep guessing anymore. We could get treatment. Yeah. So we were very, very lucky because Lauren started to decline quite quickly with it. It seemed to have taken over fast. So, but were you very good with the first lot of treatment?
No.
How did we do it? We used to crush tablets up. And she would refuse to have it in honey or anything. She just
ice cream.
She just refused to take the medication she needed to try and support her. Yeah, little evil child. So then the Cairns Hospital got the pharmacist on board to support us to try and work out how we can get a liquid form. And lucky for us, America made it in liquid form. So one of her main medications she has is called Mestinon. And that's the symptom reliever for myasthenia gravis. But that's not the only medicine you have, is it? How many medicines do you have every morning? She has 5 tablets every morning. So 3 types of medicine, 5 tablets every morning. And she has 2 at school. And that has been her journey since the age of 3. Liquid and then transforming into tablet form. So what we had to do is suppress Lauren's immune system. So because she's got antibodies that are attacking and your immune system creates antibodies, we have to suppress her immune system so she has only good antibodies in her body, not the bad ones. Yeah. How do we put good antibodies in your body? What do you have to do every month?
I'm going to go to the hospital.
Big voice.
And then I get a needle.
Cannula?
Yeah. And then once I've got that, then I get the couple of bags of that big, all the bottles. And that has good antibiotics. And so I sit in the chair for a bit.
About 5 hours. So she goes to an
Yeah.
infusion once a month.
And then and that takes 800 people to make the bags.
So 800 people's blood. It's the last product that's spun from the blood. And Lauren gets infused with 800 people's antibodies.
Wow. So if that's not an advertisement to donate blood, I don't know what is, people.
Yeah.
Wow.
What do we call it, Lauren? We call it liquid
Gold.
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 It's Lauren's liquid gold. So Lauren's first ever infusion, which she has monthly and has had monthly since the age of 3, was when she was 3. She went to hospital and she goes every month. And we
For
go
5 hours.
Yeah, 5 hours in the chair, hanging with squishy dinosaurs and amazing nurses. She goes to Cairns Hospital to the pediatric oncology ward, and she's infused there by the 2 nurses that, or 3 nurses and whoever's on. We've got an amazing team, don't we?
Yeah.
And they have walked Lauren's journey since the beginning, pretty much.
Wow.
We went from going to the ward and being checked in and spending the day on the ward to now going to one of our favourite places, isn't it?
Yeah.
And she has a school nurse that comes in and gives, or the school teacher that comes in and gives some activities, and Lauren gets creative and crafty, and then she has the team that works with her there. So yeah, it's been a journey, but she's had, I suppose we're very lucky because we used to go to Brisbane to see a neurologist. We don't have a pediatric neurologist up here that treats myasthenia, so we travel, and we used to go to Brisbane, but then we found a very, very special person in Melbourne. Who's that?
Neil. Oh yeah,
Andrew.
Neil. That's Woodcock.
Neil. Yeah, you got, no, that's Ian. You're getting all mixed up.
Oh.
We've got Neil Archer, a paediatrician in Cairns. We've got
That's Neil.
That's Neil, Dr. Neil. We've got Andrew Kornberg, our neurologist.
Yeah.
And he is your favourite, isn't he? Yeah, he's her favourite. So when we met Andrew in Melbourne, he said to us that basically he took us right back to the beginning of her journey because Lauren wasn't getting any better. So she was on all her treatment, but we weren't progressing, and we just kept increasing her medications.
Yeah.
So, and that never sits well as a mother when you never read the side effects of a medication. It can stress you out. Yeah. But focus on what it needs to do, and it was doing its job, but we just kept increasing. So we thought there must be more to the picture, and there wasn't there? Lauren had 1 thymectomy, so there's an operation you can have that removes your thymus. So Lauren, when she was 3.5, yep, she had her first operation, and then she had keyhole surgery to remove her thymus gland. That sits, do you want to sit up a little bit, Lauren? Where does it sit? Sits in here, doesn't it? Sits in here. It's your little thymus. And she had her operation, and she had to go into ICU because when they deflated her lungs, everything takes a bit longer for her body to adjust back. So she spent a bit of time in ICU, but because she's incredibly strong, we were on the ward that night, weren't we? You're only a couple of hours in ICU, and she said, nah, this chick's going to be fine. But were you fine? What did you do to them? Stressed them out. Her heart rate dropped. So Lauren has very low heart rate. She often scares
your other
people.
little chick in the background too. Hey, beautiful.
You come and say hello.
Hi. So tell me about how you stress them out.
So I was sleeping and my heart rate started to drop, and the nurse went to Mom. They went about to press this button. It's about to get very busy. They pressed the button and everyone came running in. They all tried to wake me up. Nap. And then there was only one person who would wake me up.
Yeah, the good-looking doctor from emergency.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So she has, so her heart rate was just incredibly low. That protocol said, press the button to resus, but she didn't need to be resus. But that was, just an example of the little journey that we walk with Lauren. Is she's very unpredictable.
Mm.
So the advice our amazing neurologist said, Andrew Kornberg, and Isabella's just making food.
Yes.
It's recording, Bella.
We're live on the Evolve
That's
podcast,
it.
Bella.
Yeah, she's just going to do her thing. Take it to your room. Do it all in there. All in there.
Yeah.
So when Lauren, I don't even know what I was saying.
We're talking about she had a low heart rate and you're amazing.
So yes, she's very unpredictable. But one thing when we met Andrew Kornberg, he said, don't stop Lauren ever, just catch her when she falls. And I think when we heard those words, that determination and strength is what we grew on, is we always problem solve.
Yeah.
We have good days and bad days. Some days it sucks and she doesn't like her reality, and then other days she's a fierce leader and inspiration to many because she just gets on with the journey. So I think we're very lucky that that's how we've managed to roll with this condition. We don't do the oh woe is me.
Yeah.
Do we?
Yeah.
Wonderful. So we have lots of listeners on this show that have days that aren't great, and it might just be a normal day and they don't think they're great and they're not dealing with anything like you are. So on the days that are really tough, what are your secrets to getting through?
Let's see. I think about coming home to Mum and my meerkats.
Yes.
It's a lot. I have an army.
Yeah, she loves her meerkats.
Yeah. What else? I take rest and
You listen to music.
oh yeah, I do. And I watch movies and TV.
Oh yeah.
And I'm gonna watch the new episode of my favorite show after this.
Your favorite what?
Show.
There's a new episode of my favorite show that came out last week, and I didn't see it, so I'm gonna watch it after this.
Awesome. So
But
do you
she
have
does. Lauren does very much so. She knows how to self-manage her condition. So we've done lots of things with school. School's an amazing support, and they worked her journey. We've actually been very, very, very lucky. Everyone that's been on your journey, haven't they?
Yeah.
Because with Lauren, you've got to listen to her, and she needs to be able to trust that you understand that if she can't do it, it's not because she's lazy or that she doesn't want to do it. It's purely her body is just saying no. So as she walks through the journey, and when we started school, the principal we had at the time said we have to get it right. And getting it right meant that we had to have the support and care and good people around her. And that's what she's had, haven't you, the whole journey. And even tomorrow, what are we doing tomorrow?
My high school interview.
Her interview for high school's tomorrow. And do you get to do a normal interview for high school?
No, it's really big. All my friends only had like one person with them, but for my interview, I think 9 people.
About 9 people.
Wow.
So they all come in and we all try and explain what the world of Lauren looks like. And then we just say we don't know how it's going to present or what's going to happen, but let's see what happens. So stress for Lauren is a trigger, and we have to work very hard in relieving stress, but also dealing with the many aspects that life throws, because we don't only have MG Lauren, we've got year 6 Lauren, we've got sister Lauren, we've got daughter Lauren, we've got grumpy Lauren, and trying to work out what evil Lauren, yes, evil Lauren. What we're dealing with. Sometimes we have to put it into perspective of, is this MG or is this just everyday Lauren? So that, I think, is the hardest thing we have to face daily, isn't it? And what the consequence is. So a bad day for Lauren could just mean rest in bed, or a bad day for Lauren could mean, oh, okay, I think we need to go to hospital, you got difficulty breathing. So we tend to just always, or if she gets unwell, she's got a brother and a sister, and if they get unwell, you can normally just do the normal things of Panadol, bed. With Lauren, you have to watch to see how it presents itself, and if she needs a stress dose of steroids or hospitalization. Things just present differently. So there's lots of things that we do to
20 million, billion, thousand
things we think about. So she's a complex yet amazing human being.
Yeah.
Aren't you?
What are you most looking forward to about high school?
That's hard. I think either the library or the teachers, because they always come home with these really funny stories.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to have my funny stories.
And I think that's the important part with like raising awareness, which is pretty much what a interview tomorrow is. It's sharing Lauren's story, so they can best support her. But like anything, we live in a society that is so quick to judge or so quick to have an opinion on something. And with Lauren, you kind of have to understand the backstory without it being like holding her back, if that makes sense. So every time we share Lauren's story, and Lauren does a lot of sharing your story. How do you share your story with lots of people?
Slideshows.
She does slideshows. So she just recently entered a competition. There's a wonderful support group called the Myasthenia Gravis Australia, and it's an association. And they were the first people we rang back all those years ago when Lauren was 2.5. And when the lady returned my call, she said, I played your message about 17 times. She could not believe that I said a 2.5-year-old has it. Myasthenia doesn't present very often in young kids. It's sort of older, maybe mid-40s females, older males. So for a 2.5-year-old to have it, it was a shock to them as well. So throughout,
and then they gave me ribbons.
They do. They're very kind, aren't they?
Yeah.
So Lauren, as other people, so it's like a support group online. As we've had an amazing support friend, haven't we? Who's your little go-to? Ali. So there was a beautiful Big Ali. There was a beautiful lady that reached out years ago with us, and when we were down in Melbourne on a holiday visiting family, we actually went and saw her having an infusion. I think Lauren was about 4 or 5 at the time, and Lauren took in a little Peppa Pig cup of lollies and a balloon and a magazine, and that was the first time we've met Ali, and she's been great in explaining the unknown. So every time we got a new symptom that we were dealing with, we could reach out and Ali could explain it. I suppose that you've got the physical aspect of a medical condition, but you've also got the mental challenges and the fears that come with it. So Ali has been great support for me to understand what Lauren is going through, so then we can better support her. So Ali has been, a very amazing person. But in turn, other kids have been diagnosed or have had operations, and Lauren's been one to share advice, or we've reached out to try and explain our story. But one thing with myasthenia, everyone's different. Everyone gets it differently. So for what Lauren walks and the journey she walks can be very different to other people that walk that journey. So that's probably the biggest. So Lauren's helped people go through operations, haven't you? Different medications. We've shared stories and advice, and Lauren helps doctors. 5th-year medical doctors have to do a chronic case. So through the hospital, our wonderful nurses, Andy and Denise, will say to them, yes, I think you can do Lauren's case, or they might say Lauren's done a lot of, or she's not okay at the minute, let's maybe give her some space. But Lauren helps them do their chronic case assignment. So she has to answer questions on, or any questions they ask. So don't you?
Yeah, there's lots of questions.
There are lots of questions that ask, what was the condition? How does it affect her? What does they do at school? And let's questions that mum answers, because they're mum's questions. And then there's lots that Lauren has to answer with how it impacts on her daily. But yeah, so she does that. And she just entered a competition for Myasthenia Gravis, where she shared her story and what she's done. So she's very, for some, and that's why we had to always ask for permission. Even when you reached out to me, I was like, sounds amazing, but I've got to check with Lauren, because it's, as much as it's her story, it's a story that can potentially save a life. Because myasthenia gravis gets misdiagnosed very often. Our pediatrician, and he was beautiful when we first met him, he even said to us, he wouldn't have picked myasthenia straight away. And we were so lucky that we did, because she could have ended up having a crisis, which is worst case scenario. Everything starts to sort of shut itself down, and you have difficulty breathing.
Yeah.
So can you tell Jody all the symptoms that you get?
There's lots of them. There's droopy eye and twitches, but I don't get them often. They're funny. I like twitches.
Where your muscles just contract, don't they?
There's
Peaceful.
there's sometimes I have trouble swallowing or breathing.
Yep.
Blurry vision, double vision.
I know. Sometimes I get double or blurry vision.
You can see two people, can't you?
I can't remember everything.
But they're the main ones, aren't they?
That's a lot.
Lots of them. There's a lot of different ones too. Depending on different.
Yeah. So some people just get it in their eyes, so they just have ptosis of their eyes. Lauren can feel her eye going, and will often say, "Do I have a droopy eye?" Other times I'll say, "Oh, you got a droopy eye." She goes, "Do I?" So sometimes she doesn't even know that it's presented. At school, she has manages with rest, don't you?
Yeah.
So, but we've had to do heaps of work on mindset as well.
Awesome.
Heaps of work in that space.
Yeah.
So we like the Calm app, don't we?
Yeah. Mum likes the Matthew McConaughey story.
The Matthew McConaughey story is a good one to listen to.
Yes.
I've got something like that one.
What about the Big Life Journal? Have you got those?
We haven't got them yet, do we?
No. I'll put a link in the show notes, but I'll send you a link too. So they have a whole heap of resources on mindset and free printables and activities with the kids.
We're very lucky because the school she goes to, they do a lot on mindfulness and a lot on being present and in the moment. Kichido.
I'm a Kichido leader.
You are a Kichido leader. So I think that there's a lot to be said for that adding value to Lauren's journey and being a part of a community that embraces that as well.
Definitely. Yeah. And helping with fear when the fear comes up, if we can just come back to the present. It's really helpful.
What do you do when you get scared? Because you do get scared, don't you? What do you normally have to do? Cuddle meerkats. You always go for that hug, don't you? Hug means the world to Lauren. I've probably written that in a previous post, that a hug to Lauren is their everything. It's that safety net. It's that catch me when I fall. It's that I know everything's going to be all right. But yeah, Lauren is often, still today, will often just come up and she just looks and I just pick her up, and it's, isn't it?
Yeah.
We still just hug like it's all going to be okay.
Wow.
But yeah, she's pretty lucky the journey that she's walked. So
well, I feel very
wise.
very wise, and I feel very privileged to have you both on my show and for you to share your story and raise awareness. I've really enjoyed our conversation.
Having us.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Lauren, is there anything you would like to say to any of the listeners?
To listen to people.
Listen to people.
You really need to listen to people, even if they don't have like any condition or anything, because sometimes it's just good to listen because they may be feeling a bit sad and they might not have anyone to talk to at home.
Yes, that's a very powerful and wise statement to make. Thank you. And I like how you're listening with your eyes. I like that, because listening is about really being present, isn't it? And I can see that you do that with your mum too, and she does that with you. So that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We are lucky. Say, look, things with no judgment but friendly curiosity. Isn't it interesting? Lauren is feeling like this at the minute. Wonder why. Find the why, isn't it? We always try and find the why.
And Erin, for you in raising awareness, is there anything that you wanted to add or
I think just being aware of the unknown. So if you are experiencing shortness of breath or ptosis in the eyes or difficulty breathing or muscles not working how they used to, then just consider myasthenia gravis or look it up and read about it, because it could be like for us, it was just that one conversation in getting a test to looking at for answers that really made the biggest difference. And yeah, just being aware, because with the chronic case, when Lauren was in hospital just before Christmas, we had the lecturer that marks all the fifth year assignments, and he came in to meet Lauren and check on her health, and it was 11 o'clock at night, and when he said to me, he goes, "Oh, I mark all the students' assignments." And I went, "Oh, really?" And I, being the teacher that I am, I said, "Oh, how do they go? Like, and he said, "They do really well because you share so much information and you explain." And he said that he's had patients since starting to mark the assignments where he's considered myasthenia as being the possible cause. And for that in itself made us, we shared that story in the morning, made us feel that sometimes we want to keep things private and deal with Lauren, but then other times it's so important that we do share the journey that she's walking. So if it is a symptom, a sign, or something you notice, like her dad noticed her watching television, that you seek and ask those questions, isn't it? The what if.
Yeah.
But yeah.
What if?
But we are grateful to the people that are around us, aren't we? The understanding and respect and patience that we've worked. Even for Lauren's brother, Xavier and Isabella, they've had to walk this journey with her, the highs and the lows and the frustrating parts of they come to hospital with her to experience her journey. So that kindness and compassion is so incredibly important. So we are grateful.
Oh, it's such a privilege to have you beautiful ladies on the show, and I think there's so many gorgeous values coming out of our talk today too. So it's a really special show, this one, so thank you so much.
Thank you. So June is Myasthenia Gravis Awareness Month.
And my birthday month.
Oh, and the birthday month. How's that?
Whoa.
What day?
19th.
Oh, it's coming up.
Yeah.
Any big plans, or is it top secret?
Not really.
No, you've already got your
Ears pierced.
She just got her ears pierced for her birthday. Show them up.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Even doing that stressed me out. How is everybody going to react to this? What's going to happen with this? Oh, let's do it and see what happens.
That's it.
Take a leap. Take a jump.
Well, thank you so much, ladies, and thank you for being on the show. And Erin, if there's any links or anywhere people can go, like I'll put that in the show notes. So let's stick around after the show and I'll get all that. Okay. And if people can donate or support in any way, obviously I hear that donating blood is super important. Yes, so that's one way.
Intragan.
We can
IVIG.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But definitely, I'll give you the link to the Myasthenia Gravis Association. They've got a Facebook page and a website that they do a lot of work and have meet and greets in different areas of Australia and different states. We do have one in Cairns, but unfortunately, we don't get there as much with our busy footy life and weekends, so they come and go. But there is definitely a good support out there that you're not alone on the journey. I think that's the biggest thing. Yeah. Any journey, you're never alone. You may feel like that, but you're certainly not.
Yeah. No. Well, thank you so much, ladies. And if you're listening on Spotify, this is also on YouTube, so you can jump in and see the beautiful faces behind the voices and just dig in and then learn a bit more. So take care. God bless everyone, and look forward to seeing you on the next show.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.